Hey YouTubers, this is Korikai again with another review video. I know I haven't done a video in a while, but you know, I've been kind of busy, so it's kind of hard for me to make time for these. But nevertheless, I'm going to try to do as many as I can. This is for another DS game that I think is totally awesome, and I've checked YouTube, no one's really talked about it, so I thought I'd be one of the first people to post it up. And the game came out about a month ago. I was really interested in buying it. I saw the reviews, it was kind of hit or miss, but I decided to take a chance on it anyway, and I'm glad I did. Super Robot Taisen OG Saga. I'm sorry about the glare, I'm trying to make it so you can still see it. Endless Frontier. This game is totally awesome. Atlas does it again. It's an RPG. If you don't like RPGs, you're not gonna like this game. It's not one of those, oh my god, the moment I play it, it's gonna be like the best game of the genre I've ever played. But if you're into RPGs, especially if you're into anime, you give this game a chance and it's gonna totally wow you. It comes in this little box set, and at the bottom, I don't know if you can see it because the light from my windows is being a total asshole, but it says music CD included, sorry. And pretty much, if you pre-ordered it, or you were lucky enough to get a launch copy, you get this music CD. I'll actually take it out of the box and show you, but pretty much, it was a pre-order bonus for the game, but they decided to put it in launch copies. And it's a pretty small CD. It's not like the Street Fighter collection CD, which had like 20 tracks. This actually only has 10 tracks. The actual game itself, actual game case, and a little CD with all the robots in it and whatnot. Now, the game itself actually starts off a little slow, story-wise, and actually the story is kind of nonsensical. Like, you can think, like, this Gaia-esque story, if you've ever played this Gaia, where, like, the story just makes absolutely no sense, but it's still a fun game to play, then you can pretty much know what I'm talking about with this game. Pretty much the story is not important. I mean, it tries to be serious at times, but pretty much, you know, the whole story is about just, like, jokes and innuendos and just, like, playing out funny. Now, the game, I'm not going to give any spoilers or anything, or not anything you wouldn't be able to find in a trailer or something, but pretty much, if anyone's played Namco X Capcom, I'm pretty sure a lot of people haven't, but want to. Pretty much Namco X Capcom was this RPG mashup with Namco characters like Tekken and whatnot, and Capcom characters that made like this strategy RPG turn-based kind of thing that didn't go good in Japan, so they never brought it here. But Atlas kind of liked the battle system, I guess. Which is actually really awesome, and decided to translate it and bring it over here. Now, the battle system, which is not like the other Super Robot Taisen games, if you've ever played any Super Robot Taisen game that was brought over here, they're all GBA games, and they're all strategy-based games with these giant robots, and you shoot stuff, and that's not what this is. Pretty much what this is a traditional RPG where you walk around, you go into towns, you buy items, you go from point A to point B, beat this boss, blah, 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 blah. Now, the battle system is pretty much the big meat of the game. You won't get as many run-ins with battles as you would with a normal RPG like Final Fantasy, where like every 3 steps you run into a random encounter. You actually run into a lot less random encounters than you think you would. But the battle system is just wow. Pretty much, you get an array of attacks. You'll start off with 2 for every character you get, which is up to 7, and you'll end up with 5 by the time you're around level 30. And pretty much, when you press one button, one attack will come up. And then your job is to juggle them in the air with your other attacks by pressing the same button, like in sequence. So you'll press A, and then they'll do the attack, and then when the attack's over, or you'll have the choice to cancel it, you'll go into the next attack up to however many times. Now, that might not seem as much fun as I'm explaining it, but it is. Pretty much imagine a fighting game, but not as simplistic, not as complicated, and with a lot of innuendos. Like, if you read the reviews, like, I was reading this review, and this is, like, one of the things that made me not want to get this game. And they're like, oh, like, pretty much only perverts are gonna like this game, and it was just, like, bashing the entire game, and I'm like, I'm gonna do a vlog on game reviews. Do not trust game reviews, and I'm not trying to make this video about game reviews. I'll do that later, but game reviews just, you can't solely go on that. Sometimes you just have to go out and, like, trust your best instinct and just play games. But that's for another video. The battle system is so simplistic and so complicated at the same time. Like, it seems like all you can do is do this, but, like, as you go on, there's so much depth, like how many combos you can make, how many different ways you can fight an enemy and, like, juggle them in the air. You can switch out to different characters in mid-attack and make even these long, crazy combos. The more you get hit, you'll get more energy for this bar that I'm going to talk about when you hit enemies, so you'll get more chances to hit and then you get hit. There's a frontier gauge at the bottom left corner of the screen. Sorry about that pause, but I haven't played it in a while. And when you beat the crap out of enemies, the frontier gauge will fill up. And when it's maxed out, you'll be able to press Y at any time during the battle, as long as you can actually hit them, as long as they're vulnerable to any hit that you would throw at them. And you'll do this super over-exaggerated special attack, and you pretty much need them to take care of bosses, which is the next thing. This RPG has more in-game bosses than any RPG you'll ever play in your entire life. Instead of Final Fantasy, where every 3 steps you get into this random encounter, like, every room you go into is going to have some kind of mini-boss, or a regular boss, or some kind of overpowerful robot, which is where the actual robots come in. They're bosses, and you get them later as support characters. Ooh, spoiler. Anyway, this game is just, like, flat out awesome. Like, take a chance on it. Don't listen to reviews. If you like anime, you're gonna love this game. You're gonna love the amount of humor and comedy in it. You're gonna appreciate the character design, even though, you know, it's a little weird, like, how some of the characters are designed. They're kind of stereotypical. Like, you have, like, well, if you watch anime, you'll know what I mean. I kind of don't want to get into that, but this game's awesome. As music goes, it's hit and miss. The battle music is really good. Some of the music where you just, like, run around town, and there aren't that many towns, you'll see when you actually play it, but it's more about area design than there are actually towns that you go in and buy items. The music is hit and miss, but the majority of it is good. The graphics, the in-battle graphics are really good. The character art portraits are really good. The only complaint I have about the graphics are the in-game map. The in-game map kind of takes you back to, like, 16-bit, 8-bit graphics, Super NES kind of days. Like, it doesn't really bother you after a while, but at first you're going to be like, am I playing my Super Nintendo or my DS? It's just going to creep you out, but you'll get used to it. Replayability, the game is really linear, and there's a new Game Plus option when you beat the game, but after you beat the game, there's no side quest. There's only one more optional boss that you can fight. But the game actually has a lot of length, it has a lot of depth, it's really funny. If you like anime, you like RPGs, give this game a shot. If I had to give it a score, and be totally honest, I'd probably give it a 7.5 or an 8, just because of, it has a few shortcomings, like no replayability, like RPGs, like when you play them and you beat them, you still want to play more, but you don't want to play the same stuff that you already played. And the graphics and the sound, like, the sound isn't the best of the best. Like, there's still some things they could do. So I give it a 7.5, 8, but still play this game. It's really awesome. This is Korikai signing off. Thanks.